Hello, my name's Adam Morgan, and this is my loan approval classification final project. Okay, introduction. So, what is a loan? A loan is an agreement between a borrower and a lender for a certain amount of money that the lender will let the borrower have for a certain amount of time that borrower will need to pay back at a later date. So, with a loan, it's going to come with certain stipulations. First is going to be that interest rate. So, that's a percentage of that whole loan that will need to be paid back in addition to 100% of that loan. So, a lot of times you'll see a mortgage with a 6% rate or a car loan with a 3 or 4% rate. Um, It'll also come with a timeline. So you'll see car loans like a 36-month loan or a 72-month loan. So loans can be used for anything that the borrower wants to use it for, really. Whether that's buying a house or buying a car or for your own personal use, renovating your house, um, paying for college. And it actually can be used to consolidate debt as well. Responsibilities of the borrower and lender. So the responsibilities of the borrower is really just to pay back that loan. Um, and the lender is he's going to do research on that borrower, whether they have defaulted on loans before. Do they have enough income to take on that loan? And then the final responsibility is to approve or deny that loan, where that lender will transfer that money to the borrower. Risk taken with loans. The borrower might bite off more than he can chew, and that loan is that monthly payments on the loan might be more than he can afford with his income now. Um, and then he can get underwater, and there's no way to pay that loan back. And then risk taken for the lender is on the backside. You might not see that money back, and you might have to go to a debt collector to get it back, or it might be it might go to court where your money will need to be paid back some other way. Okay, the business problem. The main problem in my report is, does this person qualify for a loan? We're going to look at the financial factors that come with that. It's going to be the applicant's income, their credit history, whether or not they're in debt currently, and then their financial stability. We're going to most loans will look at what other payments is this guy making? Does he have additional loans? And will his income cover all those loans? Okay, understanding the data set. So this data set was downloaded straight from Kaggle, and it is actually a supplement to another data set that's on Kaggle. So that original data set came from loan officers in the U.S., and it was about 20,000 applicants. But with this one, this was supplemented with an additional 25,000 lines of data to make it to 45,000 applicants. So this data set is going to come with the 14 attributes you see in this chart. First is that person's age. So that's going to be a numerical value. The person's gender, whether they're male or female. The education level of that person, their their high school degree, associate's, bachelor's, or master's. The person's income, annual income. The person's years of experience. The person's home ownership, whether they're renting, they have a mortgage, or they own their home outright. The loan amount, so the amount of money they are requesting from the lender. The intent of the loan, whether that was for venture capital or for a home or for a car. The interest rate on that loan. The loan amount as a percentage of their annual income. The credit length in years of that person, the credit score of that person, and then whether that person has defaulted on their loans or not. And then the last attribute, which is going to be my target value, which is the Y, is whether or not this person will be approved or rejected for that loan. Okay, once we got into RapidMiner, I had to do a little bit of manipulation to that data. Uh, in my initial review of that data, I saw that there was a couple uh, issues with the age of the person. I saw there was one applicant where his age was 145 years old, which I think would make him older than the oldest living person by about 30 years. Um, so I took that line completely out because I didn't want it to skew the results of my data. Um, there was no missing values, so everything could be uploaded after the revision of the data could be uploaded into the uh, auto model part of RapidMiner. All right, so I ended up choosing the person's age, the income, their years of experience, their home ownership status, loan amount, their intentions for the loan, the loan interest rate, and the loan percent as their annual income, along with their credit history, their credit score, their loan defaults, um, and then their loan status as my attributes. I left out the person's gender and then the person's education level because whether you're female, male, or identify as anything else shouldn't matter whether you get approved or rejected for your loan, and shouldn't the education level shouldn't either, as long as you can show a certain amount of income. Loans should not be given out based on what level of education you have. Okay, model development. Okay, after I've selected what attributes I want to be ran into this model, I have to pick which models I actually want to be ran, right? Um, so the first one is that generalized linear model and logistic regression, fast large margin, deep learning, decision trees, gradient boosted trees, and then support vector machine. I selected all of those, and then I hit the run button, and we can see these results that we got. Um, the result I wanted to see first was this accuracy. I wanted to see how each model could predict that true positive or false negative. And we can see that the top three models were that gradient boosted model at 90.3%, then closely in second, I believe was at 90.1 was decision tree, and then deep learning at 89. So they're within a few percentage points of each other. After I took those, I wanted to see the receiver operator comparison chart. And we can see that the gradient boosted model, gradient boosted trees, did just slightly better than everyone else. You can see there's a bit of a gap between that and the deep learning. The gradient boosted trees has the largest of that area under the curve. So I went with that model to represent my prediction. All right, here is the performance numbers of that gradient boosted tree. We can see the accuracy at 90.3. Then it had the largest area under curve at 96.1. The biggest thing that jumped out to me was that precision. Precision is the portion of cases that are found that be relevant. So we're looking for how many true positives it can identify. And then it identified that at 93.2%, which was substantially higher than all the other trees. The decision tree had it about 85%, which isn't bad, but it's 93% is a lot better number. The recall and sensitivity is factored the same way, and that was the only issue I saw with this model, that it didn't identify all the true positives. It left about 40% of those true positives still on the board. So that left a lot of people that would have been approved for a loan still off that prediction. And then that specificity, that's being able to reject what needs to be rejected. So that did extremely well at 98.7%. All right, here's the lift chart for the gradient boosted trees. Let's see if we can close this out. You can see that it was able to identify 75% of the approved applicants at a 70% confidence and bundle them into that first two groups. So that's only about 20% of the total number of 45,000. So that's about 9,000 applicants just in that first bundle, and was able to get 75% of that total 45,000 in that 9,000 little bundle. So if we were able to take the names off those two bundles, we can find about 3/4 of the applicants that would have been approved. Okay, the deeper we dive into this gradient boosted tree, so gradient boosted tree takes decision trees and then finds the error in those decision trees and tries to eliminate those. So it created about 150 decision trees before it found the one it wanted to use. And here's the weights of that last one. And it shows that the previous loan defaults had the highest weight to them at 0.543, which isn't significant yet. We're looking for figures at 0.7 and above to be significant, but 0.54 is quite a bit higher than everything else. We see loan percent of the income is the next highest, and then the interest rate. And then it kind of just dwindles down from there. All right, conclusion. So the gradient boosted tree was definitely the best choice to pick for this predictive model. It had the highest area under curve for that rock chart, which is a great indicator on what model is ran the best, because it can find a certain amount of true positives, then find those true negatives. So it can positively identify at a lot higher rate than any other models. And we saw it delivered the best accuracy and precision amongst all the models as well. The only suggestion that I would try is manipulate this model so that it catches a bit more of those applicants that it overlooked. We're leaving about 40% of the approved applicants still on the board, so there's a lot of meat still left on that bone. If we can find those 40% with maybe just drop in a little bit of that accuracy, I think a banker, a lending official would find a lot of income still in there. All right, that is it for my presentation. I appreciate the course, and I love taking this. I believe I learned a lot of good things, and I can't wait to keep going. Thank you.